Aaron Canada on the Cape Cod Baseball Network on the Manager Show. And Schiff, good comeback last night, but fell just short.
Well, that's the nature of Cape Cod League. You can't get down. We were up. We kind of let them back in the game. They really came back in the game, and then we chipped away. And that's a good Cape Cod League baseball game. I wish we were on the other side of it. But it shows the kids have a little heart. They didn't want to lose that game, and we had every opportunity. And we got to come out today and see what we can improve on that.
What did you take away from that game fundamentally, from a player's standpoint?
Well, one thing we needed to really look at, and I talked to the players after the game, is that we made 18 errors in 8 games. That's not good. Part of it is maybe the fields aren't, the kids aren't accustomed to the bumps and ruts in some of these fields because they're not as manicured as well as their school fields. But, throwing errors certainly have nothing to do with the field. We need to concentrate a little bit better on what we have to do because we've created some bad situations when we could have done simpler things instead of try to do something hard. So, it's concentration. It's, going back to something you were taught when you were younger. What do I do when the ball's hit to me? And it's that simple. And, it's all a part of getting back into, the groove, getting back in the stream of things of baseball. And I'm not concerned about it, except that it's a high number. But, I think we'll hit well enough. I think we pitch well enough. The errors should come down in the next few weeks just because the guys are going to just start to lock in.
The first 9 of the first 10 games have been against teams in the Western Division, and it's been fairly road heavy here in the early going, but it should even out a little bit with a couple more home contests on the schedule. How nice is it to be able to come to the ballpark and have enough time to just get into the groove at home as opposed to traveling and being hurried like that?
Well, and I'm not trying to, say anything. The travel isn't bad. I mean, I was just talking with Chad Gassman, the coach of Hyannis, about how some of these poor New England Collegiate League teams are going 4 hours. We just went 45 minutes to Bourne, so it really isn't that big a deal. But it's always nice to play at home, especially the home crowd here. The crowd here is great. The field is nice. It's a great setting. So, obviously we like being at home, but, we are very lucky in the Cape Cod League is that the road trips aren't bad. It's not these grueling 4-hour, journeys and long bus rides. I mean, our bus ride's long enough because it's about the size of an old Volkswagen van, but, we're making do right now.
Pat Light, a solid starter, and another decent outing yesterday. However, took the second loss of his Cape League career.
Pat's got he's done a good job. We need to really, and Byrne and I were talking about this morning, is Pat, we got to really develop Pat an out pitch. Really that pitch that he can really just hammer a guy, no, you're not going to get a base hit in this situation. Bang, I'm going to strike you out. And that's where Pat is right now. I mean, he's throwing well. His stuff's good. We think it can be better, and that's what I think he needs to get work on it, just to find that out pitch. But, quality, I would say quality starts. Obviously, Pat's disappointed, and we'd like to see him get better, and that's what he's here to do. So, again, we're not disappointed. He threw well, and he threw well for the Scouts.
How do you feel so far about the rotation as it stands, especially with Munley and Hudson Randall set to come in later on after the College World Series?
Well, we're going to do things differently, I think, this year. It's going to be more pitching by committee in a lot of ways, where guys are going to get exposure more than they're going to get starts. That's what we're thinking about right now. Obviously, we have to find out who is coming from the World Series. You never know what's going to happen. A lot of strange things happen in Omaha where somebody drinks this Kool-Aid and they decide they're not coming out for the summer. So we have to figure out what's going to happen with we have 4 arms that should be here. We have to make sure they're all here. So at this point, we can't even count on them. We got to deal with what we have here. And what we have here, we've got, Dominic Leone came out and threw phenomenal yesterday. Really pleased with Dominic's performance. And, we know we're going to get a solid start today from both Dace and Gallagher. They've shown us they know how to pitch in the Cape Cod League. So, at this point, we're just going to roll with it. And, guys will establish roles. We'll spot start guys. We'll staff some games where we're just going to say, okay, you, and you're going to go 3-3-3 regardless. And again, it's going to help us because we're going to have fresh arms. It gives the players an opportunity to pitch against quality Cape League hitters, and it gives the scouts an opportunity to take a look at them. So I think it's a win-win-win in that situation.
One of the things we saw last night was a reliever for Bourne coming out and taking them out, a reliever out of Louisville, and there are 2 Louisville pitchers on this squad. How often do you look to players that have played alongside players on the opposition for scouting reports and any kind of information that you can get?
All the time. That's the first thing you say is, hey, what has he got? The hitters will probably get to him before we do, and what can you tell us about him? It's don't worry, it's only school. This is the Cape. What do you got to give? And it's kind of funny. Sometimes guys are kind of reluctant. It's their buddy out there. They don't want to see him get banged around, and other guys are like, hey, the heck with it. I want to see us win. So it's it is kind of funny when that happens. Most of the time, the guys are pretty cooperative and will tell you what's going on, and we certainly do look for that. And the guys who've faced a guy in the same conference, they're more than willing to give up info, so it works out okay.
Another 3-hit night last night for Jake Berry. He was the subject of our post-game interview, and he's really come alive as of late, and he's been switched around a little bit, and that lends itself to the depth and versatility that we've talked about in the last couple of days.
Well, he'll play left tonight. We're moving guys around, getting more guys involved, getting more guys to play. And he's making great adjustments with Pat McGee. He's really worked on his swing. He really wants to see if he can really concentrate more on his bunting. He's struggling a little bit, and it would be just a whole lot better to his repertoire if we can get him to get those bunts down. He's kind of got his bat a little tight to his body. If we can get those arms extended, he can get that bunt down. I mean, that's even going to help him and help us even more.
3-4-1 on the season so far, and you've still got a handful of players yet to come if they do decide to come. How do you feel about the team so far going through this first quarter of the season?
I like everything we see right now. Obviously, we talked about earlier, I'd like to shore up the defense. I want to cut down the errors. I think our pitching has been very solid. I think our hitting's been very good. I'm very pleased. Usually Chatham teams come out and hitting very poorly, and I don't know where we are. I don't even look at the league stats till after the 4th of July, but I like the swings I see. I like the contact I've been seeing. Obviously, we want a few more in some of those games, but I'm pretty pleased right now. I like where we are, and the fact that we should get better when Renda arrives, along with Matthews, Roberts. I mean, those are 3 hitters, two lefties, another righty, and the pitching. The pitching is 4 pitchers out there. It's only going to make us even better. So I'm looking forward to that, and we'll see what happens.
He's John Schiffner. I'm Aaron Canada. It's the Manager Show on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.